Hi, my name is Rebecca Neaters, and today we're going to be making truffles. So we are going to start with some Hershey's dark chocolate. The recipe calls for about 4 bars with 2.6 ounces each, which is about 10.4 ounces total. This is 2 6.8 ounces, so we're going to have a little bit more than that. I think it'll be good. And then we are going to use Hershey's milk chocolate. And we're going to use about 7 ounces of that. So both of them are a little bit more than the recipe calls for, but I think it'll work. We've broken up the chocolate into smaller chunks, and we are going to grind them up using the food processor. A lot of my family is asleep right now, so we're going to go do it in the garage, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like afterwards. I have a bit of a struggle, but this is what the chocolate looks when it's been ground up. So for our first batch, we are going to make without alcohol. So we are going to add about 1/8 of a cup of heavy cream because we're going to split the batch in half. We have 5 egg yolks put in here, and so we're going to use about half of those. Those are from Farmer's Market, and then the heavy cream is from Great Value. Yeah, and then after that, we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter, which is from Great Value, and it's unsalted, and the sweet cream kind. And then after that, the liquor that we are going to add is Kahlua. So we've added 1/8 of a cup of whipping cream, and then we've added about 2.5 egg yolks, and we are going to stir it constantly on low heat, and it's in an 8.5-inch skillet. And the second that we see that it starts to thicken, we're going to immediately remove it. Okay, so I saw it start to thicken. I think I might have even let it go a little bit too long because, as you can see, there's a little bit of curling. So we're going to go ahead and stir in 2 tablespoons of butter and keep stirring. Okay, so right now we have the cream and the eggs, and the butter is melted in. So we're going to add 1/8 of a cup of Kahlua. Then we're just going to stir this in. The recipe mentioned a couple other different liquors that you could use, but personally I think coffee is the best taste. Okay, so we have all of our ground up chocolate. It's a mix of the dark chocolate and the milk chocolate that we ground up before in the food processor. So we're just going to add about half of this to our mix, and we're just going to slowly mix it in. So we slowly melted in all the chocolate and stirred for about a minute after it had just started melting. So yeah, so it looks really good. Tempted to eat it just like this, but we're going to stick it in the fridge and wait for it to harden. I also just wanted to add, the consistency is extremely creamy. It almost feels like Jell-O. It just is very kind of elasticy, and it feels like gelatin. So yeah, that's the texture. Okay, so we have added the eggs and the heavy cream, and we are going to turn this on low heat, and then we are just going to constantly stir it until it thickens. So we removed the egg and cream mixture from the heat. Now we're just going to stir in the butter. It's 2 tablespoons of butter. So we've now added the butter, and we are just going to slowly stir it till it melts all the way. been completely stirred. I feel like the consistency is about the same as the batch with alcohol. One thing I noticed was this one was a lot easier to melt and it happened a lot quicker than I thought it would. And that also might just be due that this is a slightly larger pan, so it's more surface area. It's about 9.5 inches and the other one was 8.5 inches. So that might be a factor, but yeah, this is the batch without alcohol, and we are going to also stick in the fridge with the other one. Okay, so these are the finished products. So I took the hardened chocolate out of the fridge, and then I rolled them up into balls using this little scooper thing. And then I tried 2 different toppings. So the first one I dipped in Decor's chocolate sprinkles, and then the second half I put some of Hershey's cocoa powder over. They're still a little bit tender to touch. I don't think they've really hardened all the way, so I am going to cover them and leave them in the fridge. And then in the morning, hopefully they'll be a little bit more hard and something that you can really pick up and eat. This is the batch without the alcohol, and I just pulled it out of the fridge. Put them into little scoops, and as you can see, I put the same chocolate toppings, and then I put on this praline crunch ice cream topping from Betty Crocker. And yeah, so one thing I did notice between the 2 batches is that the batch with the alcohol was a lot more glossy looking. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a lot more glossy and shiny, whereas these are a little bit more grainy, and I'm not entirely sure why. It could also be due to the fact that these were in the fridge and hardened a little bit longer than the other ones. I tasted one of each, and one thing I did notice is the one with the alcohol was a lot a lot more rich and creamier. So yeah, so we're going to put them in the fridge overnight and let them harden, and then we can enjoy them tomorrow.